Hello, my crafty friends, and welcome to this new video. I know it's been a while, and it really takes a lot of energy for me to produce a video. So that's why it took me a while to return to YouTube. But it's planner season and especially Hobonichi season. And of course, I had to get the new planner for the upcoming 2026. I did order the 2025 and I did make a video, but I was not able to cut it and have a voiceover and put it on here. So that's why it has been only recorded and never posted. But I have never left Hobonichi. I'm really in love with this planner and its many possibilities. And for this year, meaning like the upcoming year of 2026, I have made a very distinct concept. So that's why this is going to be a huge haul with many stuff. And you may wonder what I need all these pieces for. But let me assure you, I know what I'm buying, even though it's, of course, a lot. So, first of all, I remembered that last year was really tough. I was waiting in the middle of the night, 4 o'clock my time in Switzerland, for over 2.5 hours to get my stuff. And it was a real struggle. And at the end, I was just going to bed and gave up because with my illness, it's really not good to not have enough sleep. And when I went back to the store at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, everything was just fine. So I was really curious how the experience will be this year. And I can tell you that I was sitting there 1 hour and 20 minutes straight, refreshing the page every 10 seconds, having a nervous chat with my chat GPT assistant, and then I realized I was 24 hours too early. So I had to go to bed and wait for another hour and then wake up in the middle of the night again. So it was 4 o'clock and I had all my favorite stuff ready, and it was somewhat smooth. I only had like a waiting time of 20 minutes, and I think I was out like about 35 minutes after. So that was a really pleasant experience. And then the wait began. But during the wait, I did work a lot on my concept. And to explain what my concept is about is I have multiple sclerosis. I have ADHD. I struggle a lot with my energy management, and I have to find a system that works as flexible as my daily can be. I have also a lot of migraine days per month. So there are times in the month where I don't get to do anything at all but staying in bed, waiting for the headaches to be over. And so I created a layout that's taking care of all of my needs. And I just discovered this the past few months. So I was able to reorganize my so far system. As for example, I'll have the weekly layout in the Hobonichi, cousin, and I divide the weekly layout. And on the top, I have like my appointments because I don't have a lot of them. And underneath, I have my main categories because I found out my ADHD brain thinks in categories, in aisles, in themes. And I have like the four main categories of home, health, personal, and finances. And for this year, I have an additional one that is the atelier. I have rented a room as my atelier the past few years. But since my energy has really declined, I don't need to pay rent for a room that I cannot visit as often as I like to because I'm just too exhausted. And for the things I do, I can work in my living room. So now I have the huge challenge to kind of move a whole room into my existing living room. And I have also find it helpful to really have baby steps written down for me to see, to check off, to feel accomplished due to my ADHD. I need everything visual. Also, I have become very forgetful due to the MS and probably also the heavy pain medicaments I have to take. So I need to have the things written, otherwise, they don't exist in my life. And there is where the Hobonichi comes really handy because I have the monthly where I do write the appointments, school-free days, vacation, weekends, where my youngest boy come to visit me because during the week he's at a foster family due to my illness. So for the weekly layout, I have my personal appointments and the things I really, really, really have to do in this week. And then for the daily layout, I use it sometimes as a to-do list to check off or as a memory keeper. And I use it also almost as a junk journal. That's the reason that I chose the cousin avec for next year because I'm putting so much material in it that the Hobonichi really turned to be a really fat boy. It is filled with a lot of love and good memories, but it's really hard to write in, and we're only in September. So there are a few months left where there are things that want to be glued in and be remembered. And then I also had the weeks last year, and I started it as kind of bullet journal where I had written the to-dos, like the daily to-dos, in the color of the category because I'm a colorful girl. I color code everything. It really helps me to see instinctively to which category something belongs. But when I had weeks, like when I had so many headaches that I couldn't do anything, it was almost too overwhelming what has collected in the meantime of undone tasks. So I did not see the weeks as helpful anymore because it was almost too little space to write in. But because I like the weeks really much, I try to find like a new purpose for it. And I realized that it would be a very good health tracker. So I'm now tracking my sleep, my energy, my mood, my pain, and then I have some space for the most important informations from that day. So if I have a doctor's visit, I don't need to remember because that wouldn't happen. But I have a written word and a written archive of how my months were. So that's why you see the cousin avec. and you also see the weeks. I have to admit there is another order in the orbit right now, because at the end of August I saw a Hobonichi story which showed that they have a Monchichi weeks, and I just had to have it. And the why I will tell later, because that's a very cute story about my childhood. But then again, I had like 2 weeks now. The sky, which is a wonderful glitter, shiny, right down my alley weeks. And I have a Monchichi. And I will use one of them. I have not found a final decision which will be what, but I will use one for the health tracker and the other one as like a personal development tracker or journal, because I do journal, but like maybe twice a month, and then I write like 15 pages, and it's mostly about my feelings and thoughts and the inner world. And I would really like to have a little more of a little things tracking each day, so the weeks provide me exactly the enough space I need for that. Because I realize very strongly that if you look back, you cannot remember all the little special things that happened if you don't jot it down somewhere. And I'm really appreciative of those little special moments because of my huge forgetfulness. I ordered the page flags and the stickers, and I will do a color coordinated system. I also ordered the Uniball pen because it matches perfectly my concept in my head that each month has its own color. I will also draw tarot cards for like each month of the upcoming year, so that I have like a monthly theme in my life. And it will be really interesting to see if it matches. And I will also add the 13 moon calendar from the Mayan calendar, the Tzolk'in, because I really love how accurate the daily energies are, because I want to join all of the different perspectives that I use to look at my life. During the unboxing, I felt a little bit like Mary Poppins that takes out one item and even one more and one again, and it almost was like it never would stop. But of course, it had to have an end. I want to try to make more videos because I feel like I'm in such a special situation in my life that maybe other people are into. And especially because I don't have like a perfect life, because I have a lot of personal and physical struggles. But I do need to plan my life and to create some system and order to help me cope with this extraordinary life. And I would really like to know if I can be of help or support or inspiration for you. I'm very sorry for the not so detailed version. I was at my favorite place, my balcony, and it was a very weather changing situation. The sun came in, then the clouds came over. So it's not a perfect video from a not perfect girl in a not perfect life, but it's coming from my heart. And I can't wait for you to see 2026 in my very colorful Hobonichi. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. See you next time. Bye bye.